You're listening to the Warlord Radio Podcast. We're good? All right. Welcome to episode 10 of the Warlord Radio Podcast.
We are the only podcast that sounds just as good in reverse.
It's true, backward masking. Satan tells you to listen to Warlord Radio. But before we get started, I have to give a special shout out to our brother Mike Wilson in Chemicost. I'm sporting Chemicost gear today.
You are sporting Chemicost gear. Mike Wilson's a great dude, great guitar player.
Well, I'm giving him a shout out because his band Chemicost has been out on the road. They just played the Full Terror Fest.
Nice.
And like the last 3 photos that he posted of himself were of different STD shirts that he was wearing. Nice. Either at the show or just like randomly hanging out. So he's our official sponsor. And thank you, Mike. And
shout out to Mike.
I'm repping some Chemicost.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen you in a shirt that's not black, too.
Yeah.
It does not happen very often.
Yeah. This is colorful for me, for people that can't see. I'm wearing black pants, black armbands, and a gray shirt.
Speaking of bands that we own a shitload of t-shirts from, I want to warn you guys, tonight's episode is going to be very Oberon heavy, as we have DJ Bryant from Oberon.
I feel like for mentioning on every episode that we should not talk about Oberon tonight.
Yeah, just not talk about it at all. We already did that last week with Jesse.
But we still mentioned him.
When Jesse called, he's like, I want to be on your podcast. I was like, cool, we can talk about Oberon. He's like, I don't want to talk about Oberon. I was like, okay.
He's out of the band,
right? Wait, he was never in the band?
Honorary member.
Should let him in just so you can kick him out.
All right.
The guy who shits on the bus all the time.
Introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
Hey, I'm DJ Bryant. I'm guitar player, vocalist for Oberon. Oberon. Not overalls, not overrun, not whatever else you want to say, because we hear that all the time.
What do you name the band after?
It's a moon of Uranus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the king of fairies.
I was going to say,
yeah.
I was going to say you could either go mythological or you could go scientific.
Yeah, we kind of take it now because we are all fairies anyway, which we didn't even know that was a thing until after. Like Jeremy's sister, who's a guitar player in the band. Yeah, they were talking about it in class. Like, oh, okay, that's good to know now.
Right.
So, from Midsummer Night's Dream, and also like just like mythology.
Well, that's what I honestly figured because
that's what it's named after,
a lot of the imagery and lyricism of the band deals with space themes, and you have some samples of Carl Sagan.
Yep,
which is amazing. Huge fan.
Yeah, as are we.
But that's just one of the few things that you and I have bonded over over the years. I'm trying to think back. Do you know how long it is that our bands have been playing shows together? Because I remember the first show that we played was at the studio.
Which is where we recorded our first album, too.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be at an actual venue. And the venue, something happened with the show. And at the very last second, it got moved to the studio. Where it was just like, hey, everybody, we're going to the studio and we're going to play live and come check it out.
It was just a place called the studio?
No, it was our Artist and Sound Studio.
Yeah, Russ from Bryant.
Yeah.
It was his studio, so shout out to Russ for hooking that up.
Yeah.
But, it's just we crowded people in a room kind of like this size, maybe a little bit bigger, and played. And it was our first time to play with Oberon. I mean, man, what was it, 6 years ago?
I'm trying to think. Well, it couldn't have been. Well, it may have been. We had actually. I think that might have been like the first time we played our cover of "Eye of the Tiger,"
which is amazing, by the way. The first time I ever heard that, I was standing at the back of the bar, like buying a shot or something, and then I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, that's real similar," and I was like, "No, wait." That's fucking awesome. And then I got, by the time I made it to the front of the stage, it was right at the middle where you're like, Adrian!
Yeah. That's my favorite part.
This is the best shit I've seen in so long.
Yeah. Well, what's great about that cover in particular is that you guys really make it your own.
Yes, very much.
You can tell what it is when it's being played, but it definitely it sounds like an Oberon song because of how you do it, which is very difficult to pull off for people that don't know or haven't tried. Is covers are kind of a bitch because you can either just try to slavishly do what they did, which is tremendously difficult because you didn't write it. or you can try to put some kind of spin on it. But if you put some kind of spin on it, you run the risk of making it sound like shit.
Yes, you do. You got to make sure if you're going to cover, especially if you're going to cover something very well known, you really have to nail it because people will know if you fucked it up.
Yeah, at all. Like any part of it. Like one note wrong in a solo, they suck.
Yeah. Which is why we no longer play our doom metal cover of Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Well, it was funny because it was a complete accident how it came to be.
Yeah.
I just started jamming on that riff in practice one night.
As you will.
Oh, hey, that's Eye of the Tiger right
Survivor.
there. Yeah. Which I don't even really like the song. I liked it whenever I was younger, but now it's just like, okay, this song's kind of lame to me. It's got a cool riff, but other than that.
Well, it is
so we covered
lame,
it. Yeah, I mean, I
feel like montage songs are inherently lame.
Yeah. So it came to be.
What would have been awesome, though, is like when you first started to play it, if like all of a sudden everybody in the band started to work out, like Adam starts running up steps.
Logan just rips his shirt off like halfway through the set.
We've considered coming out dressed like Rocky in some sort, like in the sweats with the band on the head.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Under the astronaut outfit?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
So like when we first saw you, because I guess we met you right when Dieselby started.
Was it then?
Yeah, it was.
You guys had just started?
It was about 4 years ago, I think.
You guys were dressed up too the first time we played with you guys.
Yeah, I was all Vikinged out with war paint on. You weren't even there, I don't think, Jason.
No, I think the first show was a 3-piece because I was at some gig.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember completely, but because we met.
I remember that.
We met Craig like real soon before that. And we played a show where we were all shit-faced drunk and it went horribly and everybody was in a bad mood, but Craig liked it.
I did.
Yeah, he got in touch with us and like the first band, he was like, we got to get you to play with Oberon. He's like, you guys would just go really well together. And he didn't tell me about the spacesuits and shit.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw you guys, you came out on stage dressed like astronauts, and I was like, I really love where this is going.
Yeah.
And then and I remember it was like August or some shit, so it had to be hot.
Like, it's always hot.
Do those things breathe at all?
Well, they're not that bad. The material's thin. It's in the helmet that's terrible.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Oberon, at least, are you
sometimes
still doing it for sometimes?
So, yeah, we stopped because we want to revamp it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask you about that in just a second.
Okay.
But yeah, for those of you that don't know, Oberon used to, all the time, come out in full fucking head-to-toe NASA astronaut suits with helmets on and play like a good portion of their set in it. And it's something to see, but to some point as a musician, like about 4 songs in, I'm like, take the helmet off, bro. Like, you're going to die.
Yeah. Well, we try and take it off after the first song because when we do it, we open up with just an instrumental song.
Right.
There's no way we could play longer than that in those. Yeah. And they don't sit on your head well.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. You can't see out of it, especially like in wintertime because they get so fogged up from being in the cold because a lot of times we leave them outside. Go change outside. Come back in, that heat hits it,
and just
fogged up immediately. And then you have fog on the stage and lights. You can't see shit. Yeah.
Well, you guys do quite an elaborate show, especially for like a smaller touring act.
Yeah, like I can tell what you guys would like, the kind of direction you would move in an arena setting because your show is very elaborate for like the club scene.
But you know, you guys wear the astronaut suits. You have lights that you bring yourself. You have fog machine. You had lasers for a little while.
Yeah, they all got tore up.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Life on the
trailer.
road.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with us. We've burned through a lot of that stuff. But no, you guys put on a great fucking show. And it's very visual, which is super unusual, especially like in a club setting.
Yeah.
So along with that, how would you describe your sound? Because people always ask us, like, what are they? Are they like death metal? And it's like, no.
I don't know.
But I still consider it. I still consider it metal, but it's differently. I consider it something along the lines of like a mix of like Pink Floyd and metal.
Yeah.
The official term we use is spacey sludge metal.
There you go.
That's what we use. Yeah, that's the best thing I can.
Completely apt.
Yeah, it's a good description.
I'm sure you guys have had the same instance where you go to a show and you play a show and then people come up to you after and they're like, "Oh, you sound like this. You sound like this."
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like either way up here or way down here. You know, it's like you guys sound just like Iron Maiden. oh, you guys sound like 311. I'm like, oh, okay. Those two make sense.
Like neither. You sound like neither of those bands.
But to be fair, like, you know, it depends on what set we play to. Some of our songs can sound totally different depending on what we play.
That's
true.
Our
slower stuff and heavier stuff. So, but we get one thing we get a lot is people who are like, man, I don't really listen to metal, but I really love you guys.
Yeah.
So
and that's great.
We share that one in Diesel Beast.
Yeah.
That's it is kind of nice. But, so how long has Oberon been together?
Okay. Our first show was 2010, technically.
Okay.
October of 2010. We got to get, because I had a band before Oberon. Called Initium, which you would know that term, yeah. If you know Misfits,
Glenn Danzig, shout out.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we've bonded over is that we're both giant Danzig nerds and big fans.
Danzig. Yeah, I have a Zig tattoo, so.
Yeah. And, he's actually wearing a Misfits shirt right now.
Oh, yeah, so. That too, yeah. I wore that for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But anyway, so had that band, and then the other guitar player, and he shared vocal duties also. That band broke up. He started playing drums. And then Jeremy was like our roadie for that band. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, called him up one day. I was like, hey, you want to come jam out with us? And then from that point on, we had a show with that drummer one time. He was my best friend and roommate at the time too. And then he had another band and he kind of dedicated his time to that. So we kind of decided we need a new drummer. Mm-hmm. And Logan had been around and he'd been drumming for a while. So we pulled him on and then we found Adam. So
he's the new guy.
Yeah.
Has it been?
Yeah. Adam was, so 2011 was the first show with Logan and Adam. That's what we really kind of consider when Oberon became to be.
So it's been the same lineup the entire time for the most part too.
Yeah, except for the first show.
Wow. That's impressive, man. Like you don't always get that.
Yeah.
So I was going somewhere with this. We can edit all that out.
No, you weren't.
So when did the spacesuits happen?
That was a couple years ago. We had, I can't remember if it was a show at Thunder Alley in Oklahoma City. I don't know if you guys were on that bill.
Played with you at Thunder Alley.
I know, but I can't remember if that was our first show. It was one time. It was a couple years ago. We come out in spacesuits, and it was just kind of like one of those things. We had joked about it, like, "Hey, wouldn't it be stupid if we wore spacesuits?" And then we didn't really think about it. And then at work, I was just walking around. You know, I had to walk a lot, and I'm just thinking in my head how cool it'd be come out in spacesuits. So we got on Amazon and bought them. And then,
nice. I was wondering how one acquires spacesuits.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way.
They look fairly legit, man.
Yeah, it's probably about $60 for the helmet and the suit a piece. So.
That's one of those things though, like you guys are instantly recognizable. Like even if, say I saw you and I didn't catch the name of your band, if I ever saw you again. Yeah, that's
another thing, yeah. People get really upset when we don't come out in the suits now.
Right?
Yeah.
I like it because at least one of you is always wearing a Diesel Beast shirt. We sure do appreciate that shit.
Yeah, anytime I play in Denton or Dallas, try wear one of 3 shirts or
we do the same thing,
Well, Monogamizer, Space Ape, all
there's just a little group of us that have just we bought each other's shit. We all wear it to shows.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's a supportive scene, man. I think we're doing something right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
what's the evolution that you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
So you've kind of scaled back a little bit the spacesuits. You still do them, but maybe only on bigger shows for now.
Give us the scoop, dude. Like, what are you just going to go backwards hats and change yours down to new metal? And
no. So we kind of talked. We just kind of want to revamp it. We've done what we can. Kind of like the way Ghost has done, basically. You know, they've had different suits along the way.
Right. Oh, for sure.
So we're kind of thinking that too. And also we want to make it more of a better live show with lights and the fog and stuff like that.
Cool. We are also leaning in that. We could all throw on a really good concert here in the next year or two. So everybody look out for that shit. We're going to make that happen.
Yeah. So it's a matter of getting the lights down, how we want to do it and everything. And we kind of want to have different suits that are better and stuff.
Nice.
So
you're going to go like still astronaut or you're going to go like space pirate or?
No, we'll keep it with astronaut probably.
Cool.
Makes most sense.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. But I'm a really big fan of your band. I'm a really big fan of your stage show, so I can't wait to see what you do next. That's me. I'm done kissing your ass now.
Right?
But I do that every now and then. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious how you developed that sound, because you guys have a really unique style. Like, we were talking about it earlier. There's a lot of different influences in it. But I'm curious, like, where like the singing style and the vocal style comes from you.
That would be Danzig.
That would be Danzig,
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I started listening to him whenever I was like 15.
Yeah.
I spent a whole summer illegally downloading Danzig songs with my buddy from Massachusetts. We just spent a whole summer because we didn't have money then, and
allegedly
there was there was no YouTube then, right. So we just spent a whole summer just trying to find. And we'd be like, "Oh, dude, I found this song. Here, check it out," and whatever. And then finally we had everything, and so I spent years just singing Danzig songs and Misfits songs, and that's how my voice formed.
Yeah,
and then playing wise. I'm a huge Metallica fan.
Jason feels so vindicated right now.
Jason's got his fist in the air.
Jason's a straight up Metallica nerd.
I've sang with James Hetfield.
He played with Kirk Hammett.
Yeah.
You guys could just fucking hug after the show.
We're gonna have sex after this,
right?
Yeah.
We could just share stories.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then,
all right, favorite each of you favorite Metallica riff, not song, riff.
Oh man.
Yes. It's getting real up in here.
Anesthesia pulling teeth, bass player.
There you go. Not Orion?
I love Orion. I also love
Orion is my favorite Metallica song.
That's not what I fucking asked.
I know.
I'd probably say
I quit.
Either Disposable Heroes, the dun 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 dun, either that or Fight Fire with Fire. One of those two.
Like
one of those
two hardest riffs ever.
Yeah,
Metallica.
The deep cuts here. Like, what? I never heard that one on the radio.
Yeah, Fight Fire with Fire was their fastest song they ever recorded, like tempo wise.
Yeah,
I thought Dyer's Eve was.
It's like
that's fast too.
It's like 240 something beats a minute is Fight Fire with Fire.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit the nerd alert button over here, but no.
I could be totally wrong.
I think
a long time.
It might be that fast. So
it's fast.
Yeah, it's very
either way.
Fast.
Great song, great song. But
so I'd say toss up between Disposable Heroes and Fight Fire.
Okay, and for you, riff.
This is tough.
It is. There's no easy questions here on Warlord Radio. This isn't that podcast.
I always love Ride the Lightning, the opening riff.
Uh-huh.
It's iconic.
Yeah, that one has always stuck with me.
That's one of
Four
those
Horsemen. I don't know.
There's so many good riffs.
Yeah, I know.
So hard.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those.
So how did you feel about Lulu?
That was. I am the table.
Oh man,
so trash, man.
That's one of the worst things I've ever listened to.
It's actually worse than Load and Reload.
I actually was one of those random kids that actually liked Reload.
The only Metallica albums I do not like are Saint Anger and Death Magnetic is just too repetitive. It's not that I don't like it. It's just, even in my opinion, for Metallica, it was too fucking repetitive.
That's the new album for me. The newest one is too repetitive for me.
The newest album for me, like the tones on that album sound fucking amazing.
They're way better than what
they sound. They harken way back to the old shit, but the lyrics are not there, and there are no fucking solos. There are leads all over the album, but there's no solos.
Something happened to Kirk Hammett. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last
Untold
week.
Millions of Dollars.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think that he, like, somewhere in the ether, the bond that he had that was draining Dave Mustaine's life force and talents, and now he can't copy Dave Mustaine anymore.
I don't know.
Getting brutal.
Yeah.
I am. Why would you listen to Metallica when there's Megadeth? Just saying.
I love both.
I'm just busting Jason's balls.
I love both.
I like Metallica. I would like Metallica more if I had never seen Some Kind of Monster.
So funny story. Some Kind of Monster is the way I got into Metallica.
That's so weird.
Saint Anger. Yeah. So I was younger, and I remember hearing like Master of Puppets and stuff. This is before I was like into Zig or anything like that. And I heard that, and I was just like, eh. And then I watched the documentary, and I was like, oh, They're an interesting group of fellas.
Documentary though, it's like a public bitch section.
Yeah,
what got me into them was a year and a half in the life of Metallica, the making of the
I'm
Black
sure if
album.
I had seen that, yeah, it would have got me.
That one got me real into them.
Distinctly remember being 10 and I rented Live Shit Binge and Purge on VHS.
I still have that at my house.
It's fucking incredible, honestly. That's one of those things that blew my shit away.
Yeah.
Because, like, we were talking about, like, you were saying that opening riff of Master of Puppets, and then there are these iconic riffs. We were talking about a couple episodes back, like, the one metal riff that, like, changed my whole life was the first song on Black Sabbath. It's that opening riff of Black Sabbath, that tritone. And, I mean, the first time I ever heard that lick, I felt it, like, deep down in my soul, and I was like, I shall appease the metal gods.
Yeah.
And, Metallica's really good at those kinds of riffs, though. The ones that just, like, take you back to, like, 10-year-old you, just, like, kicking shit over in the hallways of school.
Yep.
That's kind of what Sad Anger is for me. It's nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I first, like, got into, was listening to that, so.
Oh, that snare. Oh, that snare.
Right?
Worst decision Bob Rock ever made.
Yeah. It's terrible, but there's some good songs on that album.
Well, we didn't just bring you all the way out here from Oklahoma to talk shit about your musical taste.
Right? Thanks, buddy.
It's just a little side benefit that we have here.
It is.
Yeah.
We shit on you while you're here.
Right.
It's okay.
What would you say some other, like, what are some of the other guys' influences? Because there's a lot of different sounds in your band. Like, Adam, clearly, big death metal dude.
Yeah, Adam's all over the place.
That's true.
Yeah. He likes a lot of the same stuff that me and Jeremy do, because me and Jeremy, we grew up listening to the same stuff, kind of like once we got into the band together. Baroness and Mastodon are two of the biggest influence, and The Sword.
I love
you guys.
Yeah, we love The Sword.
You guys
love The Sword.
You guys have a song that sounds just like The Sword.
That's one of those songs where, like, we wrote it. Yeah, we wrote it. We were like, this sounds fucking awesome. And then I heard The Sword song, and I was like...
Actually, the first time I heard...
I was like,
oh, they're covering The Sword. And then it wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay.
So what happened to The Sword?
Yeah, they just went on hiatus.
Yeah.
No, I just mean, like, musically.
Oh, yeah. JD, this singer, guitarist, I'm sure he had something to do with it.
Because, see, Ghost, our old lead singer, he loved High Country, and he kept telling me how fucking awesome it was.
And kick him in the
nuts. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with that.
That's kind of where I was at. I was like, how do you like this album so much when, like, you know, Age of Winters or Apocryphon?
Yeah, those two albums.
Fucking great.
Yeah, love those two. I saw them play on a fucking freezing night over at Rubber Gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet we saw them together then.
And it was hella fun.
I think we were,
I'm sure we were.
There was an ice storm that came through,
And it was like
we drove all the way from
bitterly
Ada
cold.
on the ice
Nice.
to watch them. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I've seen The Sword like 10 times now.
I've seen
that
them
was one
3
of
or 4. What I love about those guys, they sound on stage exactly like they do on their albums.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly difficult to do.
Yes, it is. But I mean, there's very little difference from their recorded sound to their live sound.
But then I started to hear some of the newer material that they were putting out. And
I'm not
like,
a huge fan.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
I'm
listen
not one
to
of
the
those
first 2
guys,
albums.
you know, how you see online all the time who...
Oh, you got sold out.
You guys suck. It's just like, if you don't like it, then... You know, just you don't buy the record anymore.
Yeah,
I will continue to bump their past albums.
Always,
never deny
still
it,
one of my favorite bands, always. Yeah,
I think honestly, if The Sword had never come out, if I had never heard Gods of the Earth,
that's what. Yeah,
there probably wouldn't be a Diesel Beast, because that was the album that God was like, man, I want to start playing metal again. And it definitely was like how heavy this axe actually. I was just like, fuck yeah, man, I remember how fun this was.
Yeah.
Fun fact that I actually, the first time I saw The Sword was opening up for Metallica.
That's
how I got into
shit.
them. Yeah, I had looked them up before we went, and Winter's Wolves is the song that I saw.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
But I watched the video, and they were all in like these fur coats, I think, and stuff like that, running around the woods. I'm like, what is this bullshit?
I loved it,
though. And then, but to me at the time, I was like, this ain't like Metallica.
Dude, I want to see a Diesel Beast video with you guys running with wolves.
We'd have to get some wolves.
This Texas, you can make it happen.
That's true. We don't have to be faster than the wolves. We just got to be faster than Wyatt.
Right. Trip him.
Looks like we're looking for a new guitar player.
Sorry, buddy. There's nothing I can do for you. You're already on the ground.
Right.
It's too late. You're already in the hole, Aziz.
Save the guitar. Save the guitar.
But I think.
Oh yeah, you were asking about the other guys in the band.
I
went
was
off on a tangent.
I did.
Yeah,
we go on tangents.
Yeah, I know it's a podcast. Yeah. And then Logan, he listens to like a lot of instrumental, kind of like I think it's like Plenty and the Contortionists and stuff like that.
I'm not familiar with any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and then whenever we first got it, had him in the band, it was like August Burns Red and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So he was totally way off from what we are.
Same with Dieselbees. Rogan listens to like 2000 indie hip hop.
Oh yeah,
primarily.
See, that's the thing for me
Rogan.
And Jeremy. Now we listen to a lot of stuff that isn't metal. Like a lot of the stuff that is in Oberon now is like I get a lot of stuff from just weird stuff now.
I get flack. I listen to a lot of different things, especially I run into the problem where I have a family and they're not as into metal as I am. Mm-hmm. So we listen to a lot of different things. And I mean, I like a lot of different styles of music. Metal's just my favorite. You know, I think that metal's, in my opinion, better than a lot of stuff, but there's some good shit out there in almost every genre.
Yeah.
Unless you ask Craig. Craig's just like, no, it's metal or nothing. I'll kill you. The lightest I'll go is Led Zeppelin.
That's not entirely true, but I am. Yeah, I listen to a lot of metal.
You are prime. Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need. Yeah.
But I'm weird because I really kind of do a very different split. I pretty much listen extensively to either metal or punk or just very aggressive music or classical music.
That's kind of where I'm at. I listen to, like, if it's aggressive, if it's on the attack or something like that, I'm into it. And then my kid loves techno. And I'm not super happy about that, but I will say this. He's got good taste, like, as far as, like, the quality goes. Like, it's not a lot of shitty, repetitive techno. He likes fat-ass bass lines. He likes good acoustic, or good, I had a word for it. Fuck it. I'm very proud of him and I love him, but this is not my favorite thing about him.
Like, he'll outgrow it.
I'm hoping. He likes metal too, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's all good. You know, he'll figure it out. But yeah, so I do, like, I'm a huge classical, romantic, Baroque
I listen to
fan.
a lot of classical and
orchestral,
I guess. Traditional folk too. What's the weirdest thing you listen to, man? Because you were the one that brought up this whole rabbit hole. You were like,
Gregorian chant.
Yeah, Jason straight up will like smoke.
That's cool.
Smoke tobacco, quote, and then listen to fucking Gregorian chants. I've seen him do it.
I love me some Hall & Oates.
Really?
I listen to some DMX.
I like DMX.
Yeah, you can.
Hey, baby. Daddy here with you.
Daddy. That's one of my favorite parts. Is just like the backup vocals. He's just shouting random nonsense.
That's why I can't rap. Is because like even if we're singing a happy like Go Lucky barbecue song, I sound like DMX. My voice is just naturally aggro.
It's so cool.
I'm just like, I saw a pretty girl.
Yeah. See. Yeah. I do that voice. And my girlfriend hates me. She can't take it seriously. Yeah.
But yeah, DMX, I actually feel like if you are a metalhead, DMX is one of those things that's not super far off because it is very aggressive hip-hop music. Mm-hmm. Same with like something like Tech Nine. I like Tech Nine a lot. Yeah. That's because I feel like Tech Nine wants to fight me through the speakers. He's just like, come on, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I respect that quality in an artist. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So, what are we looking at time-wise there, Jay?
Got about 5 or so minutes.
5, man? Minutes. What the fuck are we going to talk about for 5 minutes?
Just until we have a music break, and then we're coming back.
There we go. Break. So here's a question we like to ask bands is, where do you guys practice?
Now it's Logan's house, drummer's house. Yeah. Before it's always been... all right, so let's see. Where do we start?
What iteration? Have you had to go through several places?
Yeah, kind of. So the first place was the first drummer we had. Mm-hmm. Our rental place is where we practiced a lot. Didn't last too long because cops always got called or whatever.
We hear that so often.
I think that's the badge of honor we've all had.
Yeah. Okay, the weirdest thing is we would practice like in the evening time, like around 6 or whatever, for an hour or so. And get the cops called occasionally. But if we played at like 2 a.m., we would have parties all the time. And people we'd just start jamming at 2 a.m. Cops never came. Okay, so yeah. So there was that place. And then where my parents my dad had bought some land in auction. It was this old rundown house. He had planned on remodeling and everything. Never did. So I tore down one of the walls in there, and we started playing in there.
Nice.
Until finally they moved. They tore it down to build there. And then there was another place. Some guys that were friends with the first drummer, they were like, "Oh, you can practice out in our back shed." It was like this small ass room, which I'm still not sure like how we all fit in there with everything.
Like no AC, it's fucking hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit,
yeah,
in the middle of the damn dust bowl.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it changed to my place. I gave up the master bedroom, which me and Jeremy, the guitar player, we both lived there. Master bedroom, and then now it has changed to Logan's house. So he's got plenty of room.
Are you guys doing just like in the dining room or bedroom or what?
It's like a sunroom basically. It's got a bunch of windows in it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's got plenty of room.
Never get harassed by the neighbors or anything like that?
Nope. He's got 2 neighbors and they're far enough away, and we only practice till like 9 p.m. So
for those of you that don't know, if you're listening to and you're in I don't know where you're from, but DJ and Oberon, these guys are from Oklahoma. The rest of us are from Texas.
Well, I'm originally actually from Oklahoma.
You're originally from Oklahoma, but he resides in Texas.
Yeah.
From parts unknown.
Yeah.
But in the summertime here, it gets hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that's been a musician in this area has had to practice in some like non-climate controlled shed or a garage.
Yep.
And it's like 114 degrees outside. You're getting
and it's not
dizzy
good for your
shit.
Instruments either.
It warps the wood like while you're playing.
Rusty guitar strings, everything.
Fucks your whole drum kit up.
And then you just want to kill each other.
Yeah, so goddamn hot.
Yeah. Sweating everywhere.
So yeah, that's another one of those badges of honor. Is everybody gets the cops called on them, and everybody almost dies of heat exhaustion in Texas if you have a band.
Mm-hmm. Another badge of honor we all get: heat exhaustion.
Yeah, just absolutely heat exhaustion.
Yep.
But so like the new place, are you guys? How many albums do you have out now?
We have a EP,
and
then a full length, and then a split.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was more than that.
No, it feels like it. It does. Yeah, we have a 5-song EP, which could honestly be considered like a full length because it's so long.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of one song.
Space
2 songs. Yeah. The first song is like 14 minutes long.
Nice.
And then Tides of
Whenever
Time.
you guys get an encore, I'm always shouting for Space Lumberjacks.
I know, you son of a bitch.
Dude, okay. No, now that I'm in on the joke, I'm going to do that too.
Yeah.
Because it's like 15 minutes plus.
Yeah.
Just one more song. Mm-hmm. One more song.
Space Lumberjacks.
Yeah.
Lumberjacks.
Yeah. Sometimes we incorporate the last part of it into like.
Then I feel cheated though. It's just a tease.
So when did
that's the best part?
Yeah, right. When did you guys do Pale Blue Dot? That came out
2016.
Yeah,
I think this one. Yeah, that was a clusterfuck because we recorded that in I want to say 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we had recorded that up in Oklahoma City, and our producer, I won't say his name, but piece of shit.
You can torch him on this show. I don't give a fuck.
You can actually, if you look in the notes on the album, you can see his name, and it's like there's
tiny.
It's tiny font because we didn't really want to give him any credit. Yeah, so
fuck that guy.
Yeah,
you should have printed it in Braille.
Right? Yeah. But anyway, he would just like. Even on the first day going up there, he called, like, we hit him up, hey, we're on our way. Didn't reply, and then had some excuse. He had an excuse every day for why he was going to be late, or he had to leave in the middle of a session. And I think he was on drugs the whole time of some sort. So,
you got to love that.
Yeah, and
where'd you hook up with this guy? Or would that reveal too much?
It's Analog Studio, which fuck that place too.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we tried hitting up the owner of that place. He didn't own it. We tried hitting up the owner of that place after all this had happened. Like, because after we recorded and we were rushed and everything and all of this, and we had to cut time, we ended up paying him another $1,500 to mix it. Never saw any of that money go to use. Yeah.
No shit.
And then it took over a year to finally get the tracks, actually, talking about Russ Brownfield from Brea, I had hit him up. I can't remember how it came to be, but I hit him up and I told him about the situation like a year later. And he's like, yeah, I know that guy. He's like, give me a second. And within like 10 minutes, Mac was I just said his name. I won't say his last name. But anyway, the guy, he messaged me like 10 minutes later, and he's like sending me all the tracks, all the rough mixes and everything.
There you go.
We will call him Mac S.
Yeah.
No, M. Simpson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So shout out to Russ
Yeah.
for saving the day and fuck
Yeah.
Mac.
And he actually-
Analog Studios.
Yeah. Russ actually ended up
Getting all your
mixing
shit
it.
for you.
Yeah, he mixed it for us and stuff.
Well, he did a great job. It sounds
Yeah,
great.
I was about to
Yeah,
say that's
thank
one
you.
of in my collection of shit that I just keep on hand that I listen to all the time. That's one of
Yeah.
mine that
Which
I love that whole album.
I've heard you say on the podcast, you're very critical of your own stuff.
Oh man,
That's how I am with that album. There's so many. I love it, but then there's so much but I have to look at it like, well, we were totally screwed. And finally got to a point where it's just like, I don't care. We want to get it out.
Yeah.
And like I was saying about that studio, we had actually called them and left a letter there about the whole situation, and he never got back to us or anything.
How much did you end up in the whole, like in all?
So we paid $2,000. So this studio is really nice.
Yeah.
Also, super nice. We paid $2,000. That was going to include all the tracking and mixing that we could get done in 7 days.
Damn.
Which was really good.
Yeah.
And so this guy, he actually he did one or two Flaming Lips albums. He was a producer on them. And because Flaming Lips are from Oklahoma City.
Right.
And then I guess he did something with Kesha too. Yeah, which is interesting. So, but for us, we like going the route of people who don't really do metal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because we're not trying to sound metal, but we are metal.
Yeah.
But we want our albums to sound different.
Of
you
course.
know? So that's why we went that route, and we got screwed and everything else.
I have kind of a similar story. We had a band years and years ago. We were in a studio in Dallas, and we had booked a specific amount of time, and the engineer who actually was the owner was the drug addict and would skip out in the middle of sessions or send some other person who had no idea what was going on or where we were in the tracking or whatever. Ultimately, I think we paid him maybe like $300 and probably like 2 bottles of Valium for the album.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like eventually he didn't even want money.
The street value for a bottle of Valium is not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, it was just like, and this
Probably
was
quite a
over
bit,
the course
yeah.
of like 6 or 7 months because it took us that long to track it because he would cancel sessions
Yeah.
the day of. We'd be sitting outside the studio and he'd be like, I'm over here doing this or doing that.
Fuck that.
We fucking paid for this session.
Right.
No, that we lived
man.
an hour and a half away, so that was gas money.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay. One story. One day he friggin' he left in the middle of a session. He had a guy there helping, like the side guy. So at least we had that. But he ended up coming back later and telling us the story. Like he had ran into the back of this lady. And he said it's like the sassy black lady, and she got out of her car and was like, "You hit me! Oh my God, you hit me!" And he was like doing this whole story and everything, and I'm just like, and then she was like going to call the cops, and the cops came, and all this stuff happened, and I'm like, none of this makes sense. And he was like sniffing a lot,
yeah,
just making up a whole story. He's like,
Yeah.
first there was this dragon, I hit this
story.
dragon.
Yeah, dude, it was so crazy.
Damn, dude, what a complete and total unprofessional.
Yeah. So.
Well,
Fuck that bullshit.
it doesn't translate that you hated the experience of making that album because it sounds fucking great.
Yeah, the album does sound great.
But all right, I think we're going to take a short break. Are we going to play something off of that album, or what are we going to play for our musical break?
Whatever you want us to play.
Yeah, man, it's on you.
We can go deep cut. We can go pale blue dot. We can go whatever.
Since you get what, 2 songs?
Two
Is
songs.
that kind of what we're doing?
Yeah.
So
Space
2 songs.
Lumberjacks.
Pick whatever you want. Yeah, fuck it.
I was going to see what you guys wanted to hear.
Space Lumberjacks. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems fitting because we have put you over every single episode that we've had. It seems fitting that we should play your 15-minute song on the musical break. And then I think you get another one at the end of the episode.
Pangea is my other favorite.
Okay.
I like that one.
But I also really like Antimatter versus Matter.
Okay, yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever we want to play.
All right, so let's start with Pangea because that's Craig's favorite.
Okay, we'll do Pangea.
Cool.
All right.
All right, we will be back shortly. Listen to Pangea by Oberon.
Hosts of the round table.
Are we back?
We are back.
Are we doing this?
We are fucking doing this.
Welcome to episode 38 of... No, I'm just kidding. This is still
47.
This is still episode 10.
This is the Oberon special.
This is the Oberon special. Oberon.
Yeah.
But I threatened to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story. So, what were we talking about?
So, backstory is what people that listen to this don't realize is that we'll take a break in the middle of the show, play music.
I have to have tobacco in my system, otherwise I start getting the shakes.
And then we step outside, and we invariably start talking, and we'll be sharing stories with the guests, and then we'll realize like halfway through, we're like, fuck, we should talk about that on air.
Should not talk at all whenever we go outside.
Yeah. And we're like, hey, could you just repeat that story that you just spent 5 minutes telling?
But you did remember. Okay, so Jason was kindly and very, brotherly telling me to eat a bag of dicks on the way back in.
I was.
And it reminded me of this time I used to be a chef.
Reminded you of a time you ate a bag of dicks?
No, I ate half a bag of dicks. I'm only human.
Okay.
Let's not get crazy here, okay?
All right.
I'm not a competitive dick eater. But
like a hot dog eater. Do you have to dip it in water first?
I would imagine so. Got to really do a lot of ab. Your core has to be strong to eat that many dicks.
Well, you did say you do yoga, so
I do. But that's really just to keep the hips going. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it reminded me of a time I made my prep cook completely vomit all over the prep station. And for those of you that don't know, in Texas and a lot of southern states, we have lamb fries. They are quite a delicacy. And if you don't know what lamb fries are, they are sheep testicles.
Yeah.
So I was working at a restaurant that decided they were going to try sheep testicles in their gentrified market. And I had prepped them before, but I was working with this kind of like affluent kid who's like his dad made him get the job, and he like drove a fucking Porsche to his job at the burger joint. It was one of those kind of things. And we got the lamb fries in, and they come in this giant like the 5-gallon pickle buckets.
Oh shit!
So like you pop open this 5-gallon pickle bucket, and it's just like it's half full of like vinegar, and then just nut sacks. Like full-on sheep nut sacks, like still in the scrotum.
Yeah.
And so right there, that got the dude's attention. He was just like looking at the bucket, like, what? What are those? And I was like, they're balls. These are all testicles. And so what you have to do is you have to split the sack and get the balls out, and then deep fry the balls. And
what do you do with the sack?
You chuck it. Or you could use it as like sausage wrapping if you wanted to. So, after casting aside the discarded, so I took a knife and I went in to get the balls open, and I cut the seam right down the middle of the ball sack, and there's still a little bit of blood in there, and a little bit of blood squirted out. And I looked at this kid, and he turned fucking green as the Incredible Hulk, and then just like Ralphed in the chicken salad.
Wow.
So yeah, man, like that's a good prank. If you ever have the urge to cook testicles, make sure that somebody who's not even aware that's a food is around.
There you go.
So now we can talk about something else. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
And we're back.
I'm kind of hungry now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They taste like chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Maybe they are chicken nuggets.
It's very possible. You don't know what Tyson's giving you.
Right.
They just say it's 100% meat. They don't specify.
They tell you what kind, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. It has 25% guinea pig. So, we listened to an excellent Oberon song. We have talked love and being on the road and all kinds of T-shirts and whatnot. We haven't talked about T-shirts. I don't know where I got that.
Yeah. So tell us about your T-shirts, because you guys have a wide variety of merch. I think my wife has all of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, number one. Yeah.
She's constantly wearing it, which is great. But there's like a 90% chance she's wearing an Oberon shirt right now.
Yeah, my wife owns several T-shirts, and I've got at least 3 or 4 Oberon T-shirts.
Well, thank you.
But you design the shirts, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do the graphic design and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's actually the ones with the dinosaurs. That's in the notes. In the
right.
In the Pale Blue Dot album. Yeah. It's the notebook inside.
Very cool.
Those were done by a guy named TJ Gates. He did some sketches I seen on Facebook one time, and we were going for that whole style because in Pale Blue Dot, in Monsters of the Mesozoic, which is about dinosaurs, but it's an instrumental song, but it fit into the timeline, and I was just hit him up. We wanted those Kind of like in the science books where it had the sketches of the dinosaurs and then it had their name underneath. Like, you've seen them probably.
Right.
That's what we wanted. So I hit him up. So he is actually the artist on that. But yeah, I design all the shirts. Everything else,
right on.
My design. Yeah.
They're great shirts. I mean, and we've talked about this several times. Like any band nowadays, like you really got to, your merch is where you're going to make your money.
Yeah.
No bar is really going to pay you that much.
Yeah, no.
Typically. And I mean, you really.
Yeah, we sell a bunch of shirts. We have to, yeah.
We sell
you get the
shirts
soft
and
ones.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually a really good, what is the best shirt? Like if you're going to, cause you can't have shitty shirts. Like if you have shitty shirts, that will kill your band. I've got some that have cool designs on them, but I never wear them cause I don't like the way they fit. Or
that's like our first shirts. You don't know. Starting out, like our very first shirt, we went through custom ink, which is way too expensive and give you shitty stuff.
So fuck you, custom ink.
Yeah. But now we use a local place in town.
Local in Ada?
Yeah, local in Ada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's actually like a game store. It's Eastman Games and Gear. So he sells like video games and then also sports equipment. But they have a side thing that they do T-shirts. So
nice.
Went to him. Our shirts now, they're called District Tees. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, those are the first couple ones. Our first couple ones are District Tees.
Yeah.
District Concert Tees.
Yeah, so we did the concert tees, but then they have one above that. It's called the Very Important Tee. That's the style we use now.
I really like your newer shirts.
Yeah, it's like $1 or so more, but it's totally worth it.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. The limited edition shirt we did with the album release is that same kind of.
I love that shirt so much, and I cannot find it. I have no idea where it's at, and it kills me every day.
Speaking of, before I forget, I need to get you another CD. We talked about it.
Oh yeah, Adam.
The only
Adam
okay.
Yeah,
the only one I've got on me is the one in my car, but I will get you another one.
He'll take it.
Jason, who does your all's merch?
We do our merchboxonline.com.
There you go.
So that is who we do now.
They're a company that we work through. They're a good company. You should look them up. Do you guys work through?
I kind of have a biased opinion about it, but we do good work.
I was trying to feed you a plug there.
Yeah,
so.
no, I got you.
Merchandise is so fucking important at this point, and I mean because man, you see some really great bands that they have no kind of merchandise, and like it gets your name out there, like
it keeps people thinking about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it's the old business model of like the Masters of the Universe cartoon, where like we've created all this music and this great stage show to sell action figures, essentially, but in the form of T-shirts.
When are you guys doing a Masters of the Universe song? Please do something about Skeletor.
That's going to happen.
It's
actually,
coming.
the power of Grayskull is
because I would just sacrifice someone in the audience if I heard that.
All right, well,
good to know. Skeletor Rising,
new showstopper.
Yes.
All right, let's do this.
We should do a compilation supergroup track all about He-Man, some Oberon, some Silver Tongue, and some Diesel Beast.
Hell yeah.
But, so aside from T-shirts and anything like that, like how do you promote Oberon? Because you guys have you're pretty well known in a couple of different regions.
Yeah.
Like I run into people that are either wearing your many shirts or at least know who you are all the time.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to sell a T-shirt, put a dinosaur on it.
There you go.
That's a really good piece of advice.
Yeah. Like people, they love the dinosaur shirts. So like, oh, it's got a dinosaur. Even people who don't even know that it's a band shirt, they're just like, oh, it's got a dinosaur.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah, that's the thing whenever I think about merch, about making something that people are just going to buy regardless if they know it's a band or not. I'm just like, let me put a design on here that somebody's going to love.
Yeah.
So, like we have a spaceship on one, astronaut's face.
Got that one. That one's actually my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy it.
So
that one's also, it's another one of those ones that just fits right. Yeah. Got that one as well.
So I love the whole space theme. So how did you decide to approach the lyrics? Do you do the lyrics by yourself? Do any of the other guys contribute?
On the EP, me and Jeremy kind of worked together. On the Pale Blue Dot, I did those, and then and then of course Eye of the Tiger. That was All Survivor there,
right? That is All Survivor.
Yeah,
shout out to Survivor.
Yeah. So me and Jeremy, kind of, yeah.
So
and I'm big space. We're both big space nerds.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, like huge. Like I have stacks of just like Discover magazines and astronomy magazines and all that. Scientific American.
What particular area strikes your
astronomy?
Your interest
Yeah,
right now?
Astronomy. Cosmology and astronomy. Like ever since I was a young kid.
Well, when I first heard you guys play it, the first time or two that we saw you guys or played with you guys, I don't think you had integrated the samples. But when you did, I even knew exactly where you got the Carl Sagan sample from.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've seen that. That's awesome.
Yep.
So
Blue Dot.
Speaking of Carl Sagan, and being that you're a big fan,
Hail Sagan.
Are you a fan of Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Why?
I love him.
Are you not?
I have a shirt.
Oh no, I'm a huge fan.
I have a shirt with him on it. It has his, his with his hands up.
The meme.
And on the back it says, "We got a badass over here."
Got a badass over here.
Yeah. I actually just listened to his podcast with Joe Rogan. I listened to his interview with Joe Rogan the other day.
Yeah, he's got like 3 or 4 of them on there.
I know, but his most recent one.
Guest.
Yeah, and then Star Talk. I listen to
Yeah,
that
I
all the time.
love Star Talk.
Yeah.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson because he makes me feel stupid, but he also makes me feel like it's okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he doesn't talk
get
to you
better.
like you're stupid.
You can get better.
He's like, yeah, let's unlock more of your mind.
Right.
I think my favorite though is like Brian Cox. I don't know
Brian
if you know who
Cox.
Brian Cox
Oh,
is.
yeah.
He's I guess you would say he's British.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, he is.
Yeah.
You guess who?
Yeah, well, I can. He's from over
the
there.
islands.
Yeah.
UK.
I wasn't sure if you'd actually call him British or not,
Okay.
but his the way he talks and everything,
It's
he's
not-
kind of like the way Carl Sagan, like he's got that voice, just listening to him talk and stuff.
Okay.
So
I'm not familiar with Brian Cox. I love Carl Sagan though.
Carl Sagan was the shit.
yeah,
So,
Shout out to Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
Well, he's
absolutely.
the most punk rock astronomer that ever fucking lived.
yeah, badass.
So, because you guys use a lot of like some scientific terminology and things like that. It's just, and your music totally gets your vibe across. And it's awesome to hear that you guys have been doing this and or have been into this kind of thing since you were kids. Because it's the same thing with like Diesel Beast. I've been into like sword and sorcery and elves and warriors and shit since I was a little kid. I assume Craig has been
Into the devil,
trying to invoke Satan since he was a tiny child.
yeah, pretty much.
Right on, man.
Well, Craig's a big horror fan.
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
I grew up listening. Actually, in the first band, Initium, like the other guy, the singer, he would write his kind of style stuff, and then I would have my style stuff. It was really weird because he would write about like women, and then I would write about like the world ending.
Right.
So it was so bizarre.
So what was the sound of that band?
It was.
I've never heard
interesting. Which I still love it. Like it was. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I have to find the stuff on YouTube. There's like some stuff that we did at a Battle of the Bands. I'll have to send that so you can see the bizarreness.
That's another badge of honor that we've all played a Battle of the Bands.
I can't. Pay to play Battle of the
At
Bands.
some point, there's a point where like maybe you reach a certain age or something, but somebody even breathes the word Battle of the Bands at you, and you're just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I think for a lot of bands starting out, Battle of the Bands is one of the only ways like
to get a gig.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, Battle of the Bands. Yeah, get a gig. Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah. Hey, man, you do what you got to do.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
I imagine I take for granted the fact that I've been an established musician for a very long time, and we don't have to like beg for gigs. You know?
Yeah, it is nice now.
And also just like in this area is that there's places to play. I mean, if you're in areas of like smaller town Texas or Oklahoma or
that's our problem. Yeah,
New Mexico,
and nobody
there's not like, oh, well, we need to hit up this venue. There's no venues to hit up. It's like
you might be able to rent out the Y,
right, or house parties or something like that.
We do. We were doing the Elks Lodge for a while, or renting out the ballroom at the college or something like that.
We do, again, take it for granted that we live in this is a double university town with a heavy emphasis on the music program. So at one point, this place was just overfilling with venues. Right? That's something I want to ask you about because you've been playing Denton for at least 4 years or so. Because we met.
Our first show was at Andy's,
right?
With you guys,
us, yeah.
And I can't remember how it. I don't feel like it was 4 years ago.
It was 3 or 4
What
years
is it,
ago.
2018?
No, it was definitely 4 years ago because we've been a band for almost 5, and that was
well into our
first year.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, time flies, huh?
It really does. It has been a while, but what do you think of? Because I mean, you've been playing here a really long time, and our venues are just slowly disappearing. Man,
we poisoned this town with Oberon.
That wasn't just you guys. We brought them in from Dallas, or they brought themselves in. Really,
we
kicked in the door.
Loved Andy's. Playing there the first time was great.
Andy's will be the holdout. That'll be the last rock club in this town.
Yeah. Right. The Alamo.
Well, J&J's, I mean, you guys have said this plenty of times on the podcast.
Yes.
We've played there twice now. The first time was with STD.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And
Diesel Beast.
It's such a different place.
It
was us. Yeah. It was the three of us.
Yeah. That was an amazing show.
That's just a different kind of venue. It's so J&J's is basically a pizza joint that has a basement that's the exact same shape as the pizza joint, and it's just one long hallway.
Yeah.
And so they have bands at the far end of the hallway just playing out, and you can maybe fit 60 people max, like crowded shoulder to shoulder.
And there's big fucking pillars everywhere.
It's a stone room.
It's literally a basement show.
Yeah.
Which is
so much
great.
fun.
I love it.
I mean,
awesome.
I like playing it. It sounds good down there.
Yeah. There's good acoustics because there's wood everywhere. It's not all metal.
Yeah, and it's one of those places where it's like, even if only 5 of your friends show up, you still feel like you filled the place out. It's
not to mention, cool. I don't know if they still do this, but I used to have like a weekly gig at that place, and they used to pay the band in cases of Schlitz. Cans.
Yeah.
They didn't do that when we were there.
Man, there was one night I had a pyramid of beer cans that was taller than my stack, and I was just like, man, this gig rules. I didn't pay for any of this.
Good show.
But I was just kind of like, what are your opinions on kind of like the shrinking of venues, and what should we do to move forward?
Get out.
Man, I don't know.
Just leave.
It's going to take somebody else opening up one that's
decent.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what you do really, because why are they closing? I mean, Abby's was bought out. Right?
Because they're gentrifying the fuck out of this town.
And then Andy's was, I've tried booking with them again, and it's just like a pain in the ass now.
Yeah, it is.
I think they're going through a couple of different booking people. Like they're kind of changing over constantly.
Yeah, because I think what is it, War Baby Entertainment?
Yeah,
they were booking through there, and then now it was the last time I tried hitting him up was just the manager he was booking.
Yeah,
and I hit him up a couple times. He said, "Yeah, I'll get back to you," but never got back to me.
We should hook him up with Brim.
Don't ask me. We can't get a show there either.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
I could probably get y'all a show there.
They won't return our calls either.
So basically,
we need to change
is
that
it now.
Let's talk to Erica.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to book us a show at Andy's. Fuck that.
Okay, let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't know that they were fucking freezing you guys out. That's unacceptable. There's one fucking rock club in this town.
I mean, Backyard will play rock now, but again, we've talked about Backyard. You're competing against a fucking train.
Right.
Not all
You're
night.
the only one that's that mad about this. You realize that,
I'm a sound guy.
Yeah,
It's like, why put a venue next to a fucking train track?
Makes his eye twitch.
I don't know. It's actually a good venue, though. Like, I don't have any issue, per se, with the venue. It's just that goddamn train that drives by every, fucking hour.
Right.
Yeah, every gig I've ever played there was all right.
I just feel like it's such a great town for music. Like, you feel like it would be... But there's also oversaturation.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. And
to be fair, I also think that it probably is pretty good. But it just sucks for rock, punk, or metal.
Yeah.
For bands in general.
There's a fuck ton of places for people that would just like a guitar and a stool. They can get up there and they can play.
Yeah, that's because the last 10 years, that's what this town has gone. And a lot of towns, they're going toward the singer-songwriter because it's easier, it's more accessible. They can pull people into their venue if they're a coffee shop or whatever.
There's a bunch of those. So, it's like for some people, that's great. And I'm not denying that they should have a venue or whatever.
Should they have all the venues?
Right. That's just the thing. It's like literally, it's like 100 to 1.
Yeah. What you were saying about oversaturation, DJ? What were you?
I believe in oversaturation. There's that's kind of like being in a band and playing in such a huge city. Like sometimes I feel like, there's places to play and people to come see you, but there's so many bands that a lot of times no one's going to remember you unless, something stands out.
It's like you dress like a spaceman.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, that's when we did it. Yeah. But no, like with venues, there's just so many to go to that you're splitting up everything. So maybe having one metal venue would be all right.
I'll tell you my grand vision. I want to throw a North Texas, metal and punk fest.
Yeah.
Because all the venues are shrinking. So what if like once a year we just did this big, huge blowout fucking party where we got all the local bands in, maybe hired a couple of national
Is there any
acts
kind of festivals here in Denton? Like music festivals?
There have been a couple, but
there are, but
the
they're
Arts
not
and Jazz
metal.
Fest, which we got this close. We told them we were hard rock. And then I guess somebody actually listened to it.
Yeah, somebody's like, well, we better check this out.
Yeah, they almost let us play. And the Jazz Fest is kind of a big deal. And I mean, if you're a music fan, it's a cool thing to come out to because there's a lot of different shit going on.
Blues Fest.
Blues Fest sucks.
Blues Fest is all right. It
Fest
sucks to play
sucks
Blues
ass.
Fest.
No, let me tell you about Blues Fest. All right.
Bring it.
The first year I played at Blues Fest, the fucking first year I played at Blues Fest, the sound guy just didn't show up for work that day. So we show up ready to play. And the fucking stage isn't even unfolded. They hold it up at the at Quakertown Park here in Denton.
Okay.
And it's smaller than Jazz Fest. It takes up about half the room. So yeah, the first year we get there, like nothing's ready. We go on stage like 2 hours late and get to play for fucking 10 minutes. All right. So second and third year, like similar experiences, like just right with fucking technical difficulties and like just everything is a clusterfuck the whole fucking time. And I vowed, I was like, I'm never playing this show again. This sucks. It pisses me off every year. And then my dad gets me. And then on the fourth year, and this was the fucking last straw, like we get there. The dude has no fucking idea how to run the board. And the stage, we noticed the roof is like very, very short. And at that point, we realized that he didn't like open the stage all the way. So the stage is like a foot above our fucking heads. We get all the shit plugged in. One of the dudes uses a condenser mic. He hands it to the guy. He goes, we need phantom power. He goes, what's phantom power? And we're just like, no.
Same guy who didn't know what a DI box was.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You're like, hey, man, can I have a DI box?
The same guy.
What?
He didn't know.
They
what
just has some guy who had like some PA.
Exactly.
He was a quote unquote DJ.
Yeah, he was a quote unquote DJ.
okay.
But the dude, so he didn't know what a direct box was either. So we set up the stage for him.
Yeah.
And then about halfway through our set, shit starts feeding back real bad. So we look over to the booth and he's just fucking gone. He's just gone. And then he comes back about 3 or 4 songs later, and it's just like the system is screeching at us, and he's got a hot dog in one hand and a fucking lemonade in the other, just strolling around, enjoying the fucking day. I guess not hearing all this feedback and shit.
Right.
So, I was playing with my dad. Dad gets in the microphone and like fucking yells at the guy in front of the crowd. He's like, hey, get in the fucking booth, man. Like, we got some problems here. So the dude gets in the booth, he fixes all the problems, and we start playing again, and all of a sudden I realize this dude is standing behind me on my side of the stage with his phone out, taking a selfie with me while I'm playing. And I will never fucking play Blues Fest ever again. So yeah.
So
Blues
the moral of the
Fest
story
out.
is fuck Blues Fest.
Fuck Blues Fest. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail. We have a guest. His name is DJ Bryant from Oberon.
Hello.
That's all right.
How do you feel about festivals?
Yeah, how do you feel about
and
Blues
possibly
Fest?
Being,
You guys just played Ada Fest.
You did.
Kind of.
See, I segued that perfectly.
Kind of. Yeah.
Right. Biggest band in Ada. Kind of played Ada Fest.
Kind of.
How did you kind of play Ada Fest?
It's technically the after party of Ada Fest.
So what
it
is
wasn't technically part of Ada
better
Fest.
part?
For those of our listeners not in the Ada area, what is Ada Fest?
It's a big festival of music, basically.
Well said.
In
Thank
Ada,
you.
Oklahoma.
In Ada, Oklahoma.
There we go.
It's down Main Street.
It makes sense now.
Yeah. It's at the Main Street runs into college.
But like about
campus.
how many bands? Like it's 2
Oh,
day
my
event,
God.
right?
No, it's just one day.
It's just one day?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of just different bands. They don't really have any metal,
Okay.
and there's only like 2 bands, there's more than 2 bands of metal in Ada, but us and Our Mother's Martyr.
That's it, right? That's the scene.
Basically for metal. There's a couple others. So there's not really metal. They have one big main stage down at the campus, and that starts at like 5:00. And each year they have like a kind of like a country or red dirt artist headline or something like that.
Okay.
This year was Cody Canada and The Departed or something like that. So, but we played at Sessions, which Our Mother's Martyr, the singer, Casey Howard, he runs that place. He just opened it up.
Shout out to Sessions.
Yeah, so if you guys ever get a chance to go up there, that's the place to go.
I think we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to book a show.
Yeah, so it's very intimate. The occupancy is 37 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with
so I'm going to be really mad if we show up and there's nobody there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Like, come on.
Now, is that 37 including the
people's
5
a crowd.
workers and the who are
Right,
there?
the bartender.
Or is that like they allow 37 people into the show?
The occupancy is 37, but they said they could probably get up to about 60 in there.
Allegedly.
Oh, yeah.
When
Hope no fire marshals
we played.
listening.
Yeah, we played at Ada Fest, and it was packed. Like you could,
Nice.
yeah. So I hope.
So how was it allegedly?
Which part?
Right. Well, you said you allegedly played it.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
You're not officially on.
No, I was saying allegedly they can get 60 dudes in there.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. Lucid Awakening played. They're from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then us, and then Our Mother's Martyr.
Right on.
Yeah.
So
it was a great night.
You guys are busy as hell. I mean, you're playing most weekends. At least,
Actually, this is our next show is not till November 3rd.
No shit. So you got like a little break.
Yeah, it's nice. We'll probably book something before then, but
Where do you typically go from? Because I mean, I know you come through here a lot, but I mean, like, what's a typical route for you guys? Because I mean, you play in Oklahoma a lot. You guys go to Dallas and Fort
Denton,
Worth.
yeah. We haven't played in Fort Worth but once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Tomcats. That was on our little tour with Brea the first time we ever played.
Okay.
But then we've played in Wichita and stuff. We're trying to branch out some more. Not playing Oklahoma as much.
I've been hearing what bands in our position should be doing is hitting up these like smaller towns in between the bigger cities because they draw
believe that.
everybody. You know what I mean?
And like I said, that's kind of with oversaturation. Like, go to a smaller town
where they don't have
people
dick.
have nothing to do. They'll come out to a bar and watch some bands play. So we played with the band last week, Terminus, at Sessions, and they're really badass.
I think we've played with Terminus, haven't we?
Yeah, that name sounds really familiar.
I want to say we played with them in Dallas, but that's awesome, man.
So they're from Arkansas. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll be making out there with those guys pretty soon. And
very cool. I played at Juggalo Gathering in North Little Rock, Arkansas one time. That is
I'm leaving
deep in rat tail country,
that's
man.
the end of Warlord.
Yeah. So you actually played the actual Juggalo
It was
Gathering?
a Juggalo
Oh, okay.
Gathering.
It wasn't the official.
Yeah, he didn't
No.
say it was the.
There were legitimate psychopathic artists there. The Insane Clown Posse was not.
Yeah.
There was also more crystal meth than I've ever seen in one place in my entire life. And I saw an orgy in a Chevy Nova.
And you also had some bigger girl grab your fake cock and would not let go of it.
So
while you were
funny,
on stage.
funny thing, I had a big giant dick at that show.
They had tearaway pants on
we had-
with these
it
big
was-
giant dicks hanging
It
down.
was a thing. We will not talk about that group on this podcast right now, but I did have a fake dick, and this girl grabbed my dick in the middle of my set, and I couldn't move because she would not let go of the fake dick. So what I'm saying is be careful in North Little Rock, Arkansas. They will grab your dick.
He was trying to do all the choreography and everything, and it just wasn't working.
It wasn't. So you looking to branch out onto Arkansas? Like where else? Just anybody that'll...
Yeah, just kind of close around.
You guys
Kinda
have
do
done
regional
You
stuff.
guys have done tours, mini tours before, you know.
Yeah, we went down through Texas our first time, 2012. Then what year was that? 2013, I think we went up. I think that was the year. Went up to Kansas City, Chicago, Columbus, Northampton, Massachusetts, and Boston, Massachusetts.
How was Boston?
So you guys have you guys done the tour? You guys have toured, right?
Yeah.
Have you
We
guys?
have not. We're gearing up for
Not
that
as
right
Diesel
now.
Beast.
Okay, yeah.
We've not done like a 2-week tour, but we've gone up and we've played like one-offs and like shows in between.
Playing
up
shows
like,
in the middle
Detroit
of the
and
week
stuff
where
like
nobody
that.
knows who you are.
Oh no, I've been on tour before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that sucks.
that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, like I was talking to you, Craig, about getting a booking agent. That's the next goal. Really, is to find a booking agent and then get put on a tour with a band that can actually pull people. Because, you know, going on tour, you learn how it is. But if nobody's coming to your shows, it's not beneficial. Right. You're wasting money.
Yeah, you're definitely wasting money.
So we've done 2. We have the experience now. Now it's kind of like, well, we're going to wait because it's not going to do anything for us. Yeah. So
striking the irons hot and kind of like do your homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's solid advice. And anybody out there listening, just touring is not easy. Do not jump into it haphazardly.
Costs a lot of money.
Almost fucking die.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
so
starve.
We had 10 people in it because we toured with another band, Grell, at the time, which is kind of like their Sunlander now, which is who we did the split EP.
Name.
Right.
Yeah, we did the split EP with those guys, The Divide.
And we played with them at Blue Note.
Yeah. Yeah. So check those guys out. But we toured with Grell up to New England stuff, and there was 10 of us in a 15-passenger van. And for like...
That's a lot of dudes in a van.
Yeah. It was a long trip. Mm-hmm. Long trip. And then we had a 16-foot trailer on the back, and pulling that thing through like New York City and shit was... I went up there, Chesapeake Bay, that long-ass bridge that goes over Chesapeake Bay.
I know that very well. I used to live by the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, and then it goes down into the tunnel, and it comes back out. And I was the one driving at that time. And there's no shoulders going through that tunnel. It's just like 2-lane road.
And it's cramped as fuck.
Yeah. And I have this van pulling a 16-foot trailer going down this tunnel. And then semis are passing me. Like, it was the most terrifying thing. All you feel is just wind.
Right.
Yeah, it's so terrifying. I wouldn't recommend it at all.
So tell us about the Oberon mothership. Like, what's your setup like typically? Like, because I heard that you got your van at police auction, and I'm looking into getting a van. I want to hear how you did that.
It's a bus.
A bus, rather, yeah.
And it wasn't a police auction. It was an auction, but it's a Chickasaw Nation auction.
Oh, okay.
Which they're like headquartered out of Ada, Oklahoma. So, Logan found out about it, and because he does pest control for those guys, so he just put a bid on one of the buses.
And like at a steal, right?
$375.
Holy shit.
And it worked.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All it said was like on a piece of paper said transmission and engine problems or whatever. And we said $375. You could still sell it for more. Yeah. Even with those problems because of what it is. And all it was a dead battery. And that battery still works now.
No shit.
Yeah.
So your bus is awesome. Like,
I
love it when you guys roll up outside Abbey and like block the whole fucking street.
Yeah. That's the only bad part is that it takes up so much room. I drove that thing in downtown Dallas too, and that was awful on a Friday night.
Driving in downtown Dallas is awful in any car.
Yeah. Now imagine in a 22-passenger bus.
It was like Deep Ellum on a Friday.
Yes. Yes. Not knowing exactly where you're going.
Yeah. Well, you never do in Deep Ellum.
Yeah.
And then, like when you do finally find it, you still have to park. Like,
I always get so turned around whenever I get into Deep Ellum. I've been there so many times.
Me too.
I always get fucking turned around.
Going to Deep Ellum since I was like 15. I get lost every fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So what kind of van or bus is it? Like what?
It's an old, it's a shuttle bus.
Yeah. Okay.
It was used for one of the casinos up there, and they just took them from the casino to the hotel and stuff. And that's what it was used for. And
think about how many like old gambling spirits haunt that bus from just like having a stroke because they've been playing the slots for 14 hours.
All of them.
Just like Edna's dead.
Yeah. It was still in good shape too. All the seats were nice. It still had the handicap ramp, which we took out, and we found out we could actually sell that for more than what we paid the bus for.
So like any tax, title, and license was paid off immediately because you just sold off the bus. That's genius.
Yeah. But we plan on we have enough room to carry all the merch and put beds in it.
Nice.
So that's the next venture is putting beds in it and stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
Futon, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So
what's on the horizon? What is Oberon planning?
We're trying to get vinyl printed for Pale Blue Dot.
Oh man,
I
want one of those, and I'll pay any price.
These guys can probably help you.
So fucking expensive
because they got vinyl done for theirs, although Carrick recommends not getting purple vinyl.
No, apparently purple is the hardest color to market ever, especially
and it's the hardest color to find.
Yeah, like just everything because we based our entire marketing plan around being a purple album in a sea of black records, right?
Right.
And
good call.
Yeah, I mean, and it does. I like the album art. It's real minimalist. I think it's really fucking groovy. But we came up with this whole plan about this purple thing, and then come to find out, like at the 0 hour, like when we've already put in our orders for shit and stuff like that, everybody's like, "Oh, purple's the most difficult color to come by." Period.
Why?
I don't
like
know.
for like vinyl?
For anything, for like all of the shit we tried to put, like those fucking t-shirts that are the purple, like special edition ones, those things were a bitch to come by. Like just that color purple is just I love it. Any merchandising, and we shopped around to so many people and they were just like, no, we can't do purple.
We had 3 record houses tell me they could do purple, and then they couldn't do it. It was like, because a lot of times they'll just mix colors. Sorry, I accidentally hit print. I'm printing something.
I was wondering what that sound was.
I didn't mean
important files.
You print something in the middle of my interview?
I'm sorry.
Right?
So sorry. But so and then we finally got one, and they sent me a photo of the color, and we were like, "Yeah, that's fucking perfect." And then we get it, and it was way different than
What do
the
you mean
color
way different? It was Pepto-Bismol fucking.
That's what I'm saying. It was way
yeah.
fucking different. So we were kind of upset about that. But I mean, like if you look at the record by itself, it looks purple. You think that it's purple, but if you put it next to something that's purple, it looks fucking pink.
It's kind of like when you see like a Mustang driving down the road, and you're in your Toyota Corolla, and you're like, these are the same. No, but if you're doing it straight, like it was the physical disc. We thought it would be cool to have the physical purple disc. And that was such a fucking bad call. So, but yeah, we actually do know somebody that could probably help you out with vinyl, so we will talk off the air. But
although you guys should do blue because it's pale blue dot.
Well,
right?
we want to do like a kind of like a transparent blue.
Blue they fucking had. Blue they had in spades.
We can get that for you. We can get that done.
Absolutely.
Well, see, the problem with us is so I've done a couple quotes.
Oh, okay.
So we can do it with. We have to do a double LP first of all.
Right.
So automatically makes it more expensive.
Yeah, that is.
And we want to do a gatefold. Instead of just inserting the 2 records into one, because the artwork folds out into a landscape. And you got to benefit. I mean, like what it is.
You're going to drop some change on that, but in the end, it's a good call.
$4,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The problem is the original pressing is what costs so much. When you reprint, they don't got to print the fucking masters. They don't got to do acetates and all that shit again. Yeah. That's what's really, really expensive.
Yeah, and usually they order more labels than already come in, so they can always add those to it.
We actually got, I think, like 50 more records than we actually ordered, like 100 and something more sleeves than we ordered.
Nice.
And we got them purple, but we actually got like 10. I got 10 discs that were black, and then I got one smoke gray.
Nice.
Like it's smoky because they were, I guess, going through the rest of what they had in the machine or whatever. So it's like we got a couple of that aren't what they're supposed to be. So
nice.
Those may show up online.
How's feedback been for vinyl for you guys?
The vinyls, first off,
not bad.
In my personal opinion, because like we talked about it earlier, I'm really critical about the stuff that I put out. I don't even like listening to it a lot of times, or I'll listen to it once or twice to make sure it's all right, and then blah, blah, blah. That vinyl is probably one of the things that I'm most proud of. That is, in my opinion, the best I've ever sounded on that vinyl.
Yeah.
So that's a neat little side thing. But I mean, anybody that we've sold them to, because here's the deal. We've sold those packages where you could get that purple shirt.
I have one.
So what's the package for people that don't know?
For people that, what is the package for people that don't know?
The package is a record, a digital download of the album, a patch, an embroidered patch, and then the limited edition Purple Tour t-shirt that basically has our sigil on the front, and then a list of tour.
Buy all this and more at dieselbeastband.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
But so we put out that special edition package, and so many people bought the vinyl just so they could have the t-shirt. Like they didn't even have record players.
Yeah.
But the people that did buy the vinyl really, really like it. Like, and we sold a pretty fair amount of vinyl. We sold
a good amount of them from the original pressing.
That's great.
Vinyl's where it's at right now. Like you hear bands like talk about what makes you money. Vinyl
definitely. When you charge a lot for it.
Like we put out a lot of money to put the vinyl out, but it's totally worth it in my opinion because it was vinyl outsold every other medium the last couple of years. It's like there's a huge resurgence and everybody likes it. And yeah, it's an expensive thing. It's an endeavor, but it's something that like if they get it, they're gonna keep it. It's not like a CD they're gonna fucking throw away or something.
And this might sound kind of silly, maybe, I don't know, but like I feel like when you have a vinyl out, because it costs so much and because so much goes into it, it's like it legitimizes you a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, they have a vinyl. It's like being in a ska band with 3 trombone players. They're like, oh, you're the best. Right. It's like when you have a vinyl, it just kind of like, and I think like even for if you were trying to shop a label or something like that, they'd look at that and be like, these guys are willing to invest money in themselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of gives them a leg up. Plus, like I said, it just, certain types of music I think lend themselves better to vinyl. I definitely think what you guys do would sound fucking awesome on vinyl. And I don't know, vinyl's a really good way to go, in my opinion.
So get on it.
Long story short, I'm super excited about this fucking Pale Blue Dot vinyl.
Yeah. Well, another thing is like people will buy several pressings of the same album just because it's got a different record, like different color or anything like that. So you can continually, people love collect. Yeah, you can continually release the same record and people will keep buying it just because. So
I am that guy. Even in comic books and stuff, I'll buy like 5 variant covers of the same fucking comic book. I don't know why I do that.
It's a sickness.
Rampant consumerism and capitalism doing its job.
Yes. Making us happy.
Other than that, we have a second full length recorded. But we're sitting on it for a little while. Because we wanted to record it and
time capsule. It's back of Logan's yard.
Yeah.
Could you maybe like break off 2 rad podcasters a copy? We wouldn't share it.
Well, we don't have any mixes yet.
We would sit in a dark room and listen to it, and then not.
This stuff costs too much money.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it does.
So we're gonna have like a crowdfunding thing for it.
Nice.
Yeah, to go ahead and get it mixed and mastered, and then probably we're definitely going to do vinyl for that one probably on a release. So
that should be the Andy show I book. We should do a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Just like a big fuck you. Just like, hey, I'm bringing these bands you won't call back and we're going to fund their new album.
Right.
So, but I can't wait to get that one out. I think it's going to be our best.
Can you tell us what it's called at least? Or what
we don't actually have there's some working titles, but.
Okay. Man, you're being tight-lipped about this. Piss me off.
Well, I'm not trying to be tight-lipped. We don't really have a name for it yet. One of the names that was suggested was Cosmic Wonderlust. That was the name I suggested.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Because, I'll just say it's about 2 astronauts in space.
Fucking.
Stranded.
And fucking.
Right.
So.
They don't fall out of the atmosphere and into a lake and live, do they?
Nope.
Okay, good. Because then
yeah, you're talking about gravity.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But
could happen.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you burn up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I think that fucking water would be like concrete, and you would be fucking dead.
You'd be like 4 times dead by the time you hit that lake.
Anyway.
Well, she was in a.
She's in a space suit.
She was in a pod though. Whenever they went into the lake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in a pod.
Were they in a pod?
Yeah. Yeah, because she had struggled getting out. Because it was like, oh yeah, you think you're finally safe, and then she couldn't get out because the parachute got caught on her from the pod.
Oh.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
That's all right. If you haven't seen it by now, fuck you.
And then she sees the Statue of Liberty and know that the apes have taken over.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happens.
Beautiful movie though.
However, they do tease Captain America in the next one.
And the next what? Right, Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, absolutely. That failed. That fell way far.
We're gonna wrap it up on that note because
yes,
Carrick's losing it. He's
I am tired, guys. But well, thank you, DJ, for coming out. Is there anything else that you would like to plug before you go?
Your butt.
I'm cool with that. I'm a really big fan.
Oh, don't forget to say what the next song is.
Well, we're gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
Where can we find Oberon?
Oh yeah,
online?
yeah. Let's Facebook. Instagram, our Bandcamp, OberonBandcamp.com.
Okay.
What else is there? I don't think there's.
Are you on the tweeters?
We have a Twitter, but we never use it.
Same.
I'm just like,
are you on the?
It's too much.
Are you on streaming? Are you like on Spotify, Rhapsody?
Oh yeah,
Last.fm?
yeah. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google, whatever you use. You can find us.
Right on.
Are you on Pandora?
I don't know if we're on Pandora.
Dude, I think everybody has signed up for Pandora. Nobody I know actually
uses it.
They can't find their own shit on Pandora. They're like, I know it's here somewhere.
Yeah, it depends on which distributor you go through.
Yeah.
Some have it through Pandora, some don't. I don't know.
It's a weird thing, but yeah. Fuck you, Pandora.
Our last album was actually The Divide. You can actually Shazam it. So
no shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's what it said. Nice. Who knows if you can, but I don't know.
We'll see.
So, of the recorded material that you have now, do you have a particular favorite between the split, the album, the EP?
Pale Blue Dot's my favorite, probably. Yeah, just because
it's so good.
How does the new full length compare to Pale Blue Dot? Just stylistically, is it similar but refined? Is it ska? Is it?
It's similar. But, I mean, we play a lot of that stuff. Well, not a lot of it, but we've played several of the songs from the new album live. You guys have been there.
Even though you're like kind of changing up your aesthetic a little bit, like the main heart and soul still kind of in the same place.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
totally all there. It's got the instrumental stuff, the clean stuff. It's actually got a piano track on it.
Nice.
That I did.
Dude, you got to get this out, man.
I know. Trust me, it's killing me.
I'm so fucking excited about this.
Which one do you help with? Which one do you help?
I know, right?
Let me know.
If only we knew a sound man.
Give me $2,500.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
What? Wait. That's not how this works.
Right?
Swap that shit around.
Right.
No, we're just kind of sitting on it. We actually recorded where we recorded the split, which was Breathing Rhythm Studios in Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better experience than the last place?
Yeah, way better.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's actually where we did the Divide at.
Okay.
So it was that place.
Pisses me off hearing about shitty studio experiences because
yeah.
it should be such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mockingbird Studio. Jason Rochester of Mockingbird Studio.
Yep.
I'm just going to here shamelessly plug everything we've all got going on. Well, DJ, thank you so much for coming out, man. Thanks for staying out late
Thanks
with
for
us.
having me.
Yeah, it was a great pleasure having you on, brother. Love Oberon, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for listening. We have been Warlord Radio Podcast. Hail Sagan.
Hail Sagan.
There you go. And this last song is Space Lumberjacks by Oberon.
Space Lumberjacks to dance at it.
Toke up.
space, axe in my hand, searching for all the land from here to Mars, beyond all the stars. You will see. You will see. Look at my face and see this beard. I have not shaved in 6,000